Hey, welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour. This is the show where we bring you ServiceNow tools and tips and techniques and insight to how things are built. I like to call it the antithesis of a well-polished demo. We stub our toes and bang our elbows and sometimes get bloody knuckles doing this show because things may not work out right for us and they may not work out right for you. So as a community, we come together and we have a lot of fun. Let's go around and do our introductions, starting with this man to my left, your right.
Hi, everyone. I am Earl Duque. I am a developer advocate here at ServiceNow. I've been with the team for about a year, but before that, I was with higher education and a bunch of different customers. Pass it off to Dhruv.
Hello everyone, my name is Dhruv. I work for Accenture as a technical architect. I'm also a developer MVP and a Coca-Cola fan. Pass on to Pranav.
Hey everyone, good morning, good evening, wherever you are located. My name is Pranav and I'm a senior ServiceNow consultant at Nike, and I'm also a developer and community MVP for this year, and that's about me.
And my name is Chuck Tomasi, senior developer advocate. I almost said architect. I'm not even sure what a developer architect is. But I will say I snuck a few sips from the bottle already.
Speaking of,
been here since 2010, doing this job for the last 5 years. Was a customer for a couple before, and a long, long history of IT software development and related topics. It is great to be here. It's been a while since I've personally been on Live Coding Happy Hour, and we are just about to launch into our Tokyo season, but we'll do announcements towards the end. So stick around. We've got a great show. I'm not doing any of this except adding color commentary. So the man of the hour is Pranav. So
drinks.
What do you? Oh, the drinks. Yes, the introduction. I didn't read the notes. I should have those handy. Let's do the introductions of our beverages. Same order. Earl.
I'm recovering from being sick, so I have to drink water today. Not my normal whiskey.
For me,
and we can guess what Dhruv is having.
Yeah, you can make a blind guess. But this one is a bit different. It's like zero sugar. So
smart. Pranav.
So I'm having a protein shake. I hope you're able to see it. And I'll need recharge.
His reason is because it's 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
2 in the morning protein shake.
This guy's dedicated. All right. I just got back from a Hawaiian vacation a week ago. So I am having a Kona Brewing Big Wave. This is brewed in Hawaii. So I don't think I actually had any of these. We were having other beverages while we were on vacation. So we'll rate our drinks at the end. Now I'll turn it over to Pranav to see what he's got for us.
All right. So I'll be getting to my screen. Let me know if you're able to see my developer instance.
Earl's got us covered.
Perfect. So, all right. So firstly, I'll just put some idea what we are trying to do today. So it's about stock market. So I know a lot of people are investors, or they're buying stocks, or they're doing trading or anything. So sometimes we don't have time. I am doing my job, and I also want to do some trading, and I do a repetitive step every time. So to remove that step, what I'm trying to build is an app. which can basically go ahead and do these things for me. So this app is more of like you put your order, which we call as in stock market, that this is my order in the system with the proper stop loss and target or whatsoever you want to put. And after that, like you have everything defined. You don't have to do it. It will run on a schedule basis based on what you want, how you configure the app. So today we're going to start building this app like from scratch. It was in my mind for a long time. I'm trying to build something like this. So let's get started.
I feel
So,
like
any questions?
before we jump into this, I think we need to make a disclaimer that we are not financial advisors, nor do we condone or recommend what you should do with your money. Your mileage may vary. Good luck.
And
Yep.
Good call, Earl. Good call.
just believe
Good
you
call.
are developing on PDI. Make sure before the stock bell rings, enable your
Yeah.
PDI, wake up your
Yeah.
PDI.
Yep. And yeah, what Earl already told. Disclaimer: I'm not SEBI registered. That's an Indian company, Indian institute which manages all these things. No financial advice. Only service now. All right. So let's get started. So firstly, like this is basically this is a broker. So you need a broker account to do all these trades and all. So this is the one that I use, and like I'm not sponsoring this thing. So just something I use. So they provide something like the APIs, smart APIs and all. So I already created an account here. So let me log in quickly.
So your broker has like REST APIs that you can tie into?
Yes, they have the APIs and other things that are there. So I have to just basically go through it, how it works, and we have to just create some apps and all. So I created one historical data app long back. So, but this is the order thing. This is all new that they brought up. So
Whoa,
basically,
should I be not showing this on screen?
I,
You're going to need a new secret key after this show.
I'll definitely. I'm gonna create a new app, and this is inactive. So
Oh,
not
okay,
an
okay, good.
Bad luck.
Don't worry, I won't show the passwords. Okay, so so let me firstly, because this is my first time going through this. So what I need to do is like basic architecture wise. What I thought is like we'll be having a container, which is like a order. Like what type of, is it a custom or is it something like more of like it's a more of a container, and inside of that will be having the actual orders. So what I'm seeing is we have to figure out like two things: how to place an order and do some kind of authentication. So see, this is the order one. This is there, and this is something like place an order.
I
Okay.
just had a funny thought. When you said order, my brain immediately went to the service catalog. Like, what if you have catalog items to order a number of shares of a certain kind of stock?
Well, that's a good thought, actually.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we are into this place order thing. So I see it's a pretty straightforward thing. They We have to like put some. This is like the data that we need to pass, and we have the headers that are there. So this is for place order, and if I see, I have to provide the private key. I think that we're gonna create from here, like how we have this, and yep, we need some token. So let me see if there is a token thing that's there. So it's, yep, you can see that. So okay, so if we give them the client ID and password with this URL, so we'll be getting the token. So what we can do is like first thing is like I can create certain like APIs and for authentication, and I think it's a pretty straightforward. So I'm going to use Postman, and I hope you're able to see my Postman screen.
No.
No, we're still on your browser.
It's on your
Yeah.
browser.
Let me share it. I think
Okay.
I have to share my whole.
Postman is a very good way to, before you even get into ServiceNow, is validate
Yep.
your credentials work, the endpoint is valid, you've got the right parameters and headers. then you can start. I often do that as a first step before constructing anything in an API in ServiceNow. It's just sort of a validity check, because if you start throwing things in ServiceNow, you've got a lot of variability. There's dials you can turn, and when something doesn't work, you're like, well, okay, it was a 401.
And the best thing, the Pranav showed how to read an API. You start with you don't read the whole document. You search for the thing that you want, and then go for authorization, what it needs, and then go to Postman and then knock it off.
Absolutely. I agree with Chuck and Dhruv. Like, this is the same thing I do always. Like, check everything in Postman. If I'm getting the response perfect, I'll I'll go move forward. All right. So let's get back to this. So I see we have a simple. I don't think it's a complicated thing. We have the API connect by password, and this is. I hope now Postman is
There it
visible.
is. Yep.
Yep. So it's a post method. I can just put it post, and I have the URL and what headers I have to pass. So I have these headers. So, like, we can do some bulk edit in the header section. I hope we have to remove this thing. That kind of a part we have to do. Let's see.
For this, I
Okay.
like Visual Studio Code.
So you can do a search and replace.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a task now because they have given a script. We should have given a postman thing. Like, fine. So
There is an option in Postman. I can't remember if it's Postman or if it's the other one, where you could put like the whole URL endpoint, and it can even parse out the query parameters and pre-build those for you.
Yep, it is there in Postman only, but these are header parameters. So
Right.
so that's the reason it's not able to like we are not able to do this. But if we are like, I need to put it in the headers.
There it is.
Yep, and all the time I know it's like a tedious thing, but hopefully this is one time. And let's do this.
Hey, that's why this is live coding happy hour.
Yeah.
We show you the pain.
Oh yeah. So by looking into this, I can make out. Yeah, still have certain more. This is the one. Mac ID.
And the private key as well.
Yep. So source ID also. Okay. So by looking into this, I believe like this is normal content type and accept this are normal. We have to give a local IP in public IP in Mac. I don't think these are mandatory. And the API key. This is the one that we have to generate. And user is like user or web. Like there should be some. It should be this only user or web. We can try. And I have to put some like a body also because it's a post. So let's put some raw body and I'll pass some. This is my client ID and password that I have for this. So I won't show it. I'll do
Oh
it
man,
off
I was
screen.
expecting to take a screenshot.
We need to bring back our privacy shrubbery.
Yep. And let's see. So, okay. So I think that's there. Now let's create an app firstly. So I need a trading app. I don't need anything else. And basically this is like a API thing. So I don't think we need a like redirect URL for it. Stock market. ServiceNow. I can put SN. Stock market. Market Algo. This is the hard part for me, to be honest. Selecting the name.
That too at 2 a.m.
Live coding happy hour.
I for now I'll just put this one like by instance person, but we don't need the redirect URL as of now because that's basically used for authentication and all. Let's see.
Mhm.
So I think app got created. So perfect. So we have this is the API key that's there, and I'm gonna quickly put the API key in the private key thing,
I'm
and I'm gonna
transferring all
stop.
your money to my account now.
I'm gonna stop sharing now for a minute so that I can add my.
Hey, there's no money here.
Uh, anyways, markets are not opening for next 7 hours, so
I was gonna take your screen
Yeah.
off. I was gonna take your screen off this stream. Don't worry, Pranav.
Okay, okay, I didn't know that. So let me. Say, I
This
hope.
entire time I've had my finger hovering over the overlay button, just unlock things out really quickly.
mine was on print screen button.
All right, so I'll come back now again. Let me share it.
He's
So
going to
thanks,
change
sir.
the keys right after this anyway.
Yeah, I'll change everything in front of my account details. Yeah, Ashutosh will need that. So, okay, I have added that in the response, like the request, and I have all these things ready. Let's see what happens. I hope
It's
it's taking.
thinking.
Fingers crossed.
Sending. That's an awful long sending time.
Yeah, that's awful. That's long. And
Do
I
you think it
think
needs any other parameters or something?
let's see the docs. Okay, so smart APIs. We
Yeah,
have the
usually
APIs.
the API key and secret key. Well, no, if it's the API key, it'll either be done in the header or the URL because it
Yeah,
didn't say it's OAuth, is it?
yeah. It's like 500 internal error that's
Oh,
coming up. So let's debug. So we have the content type proper. We have given everything. We've given the API key. Did we give any? This is the API key that's proper, and we have it active. Let's try it once. And I have given uh, logging creds is proper also. I can quickly verify that my creds are fine. And let's see.
That's a very
waiting.
good habit of developers, They don't trust the first thing. We'll send the request with the same parameters.
Yep, yep. Something maybe there. Let's see, because this is like night time, so there might be some maintenance going on their end.
Yeah,
So
500 is a server error, which means it's on their end. So the
yep,
request is being mangled. Not that it's being refused.
yep. I think that's one thing. Let's see. We can. Earl, I think you have to sh- move it a bit. I'm gonna put it go into the body.
Nitish said, try the secret key in the private key. I think you've got the API key in the private key. Is that what the doc said?
So dog actually, yeah, that's a good call out actually. So if I look into this, so it's saying that we have to put the API key here.
In the
So
private key? Okay.
Yeah.
so this is the API key. So we don't need the secret key.
I'm not
So
showing the screen, by the way. Should I be?
Please.
you can try.
Dhruv
So
isn't camera shy.
okay, let's try. Otherwise, we till the time we can, maybe it will take some time. We can try in the middle, and till the time we can build the app architecture. Something how we can proceed with that. And it should be. It's a post method, and it's this. I can probably do one thing quickly. I have my old one, so I'll try to make this one active and see if everything is there. Maybe this might work for us.
That's a good test. If you had one that worked before, I've done that before.
Maybe, yeah, because we created just now this thing, so it might not be updated in the backend. So X user type, X source code. This is their server error, and it's taking 30 seconds. So thing is, there is no like response sent back,
Mhm.
and we can even see what is
No, it
maybe.
seems like a server. It's taking longer, man.
Let's see. Let's test it. We'll at least build the architecture, maybe wait for some time for the API. So you can see, right, this HTML, if I visualize this thing up, it should generate the HTML.
Oh, Sahel had a good idea. He said, try the URL directly in the browser.
Yep, you can see, right, it's a internal
Oh,
server error.
sure.
So
Yeah, it's going to give us that.
yeah, that's the same thing that's happening. Anyway, so I think this is the authentication one. Let's do one thing. We can start with the app by going through the doc, what we need. So what I feel is once we get the client code,
Mhm.
once we pass the client code and password, we'll got to get a JWT token, refresh token. I think this is the one that we're gonna need for order. And if I go into the order, place order, this thing. So this is the API. Let's go into this place order. So like people who have worked with stock market, so we know that like we have normal orders, which are like just regular orders that are there. There are some stop loss orders or something like AMOs, other things that are there. So so this is fine. Trading symbol is also fine, like what kind of stock we are interested in. So that's one. And we have symbol token. I'm not aware, it might be their entity, we have to search that. And transaction type buy, exchange is this, order type, product type, market. This is all generic field, I think, based on
Yeah.
my experience. So what we can do is like, so we'll be needing all these fields for sure in our order table, so that we can just quickly create things. And there will be a flow that we have to build. All right.
Okay.
So let's start with the app then. So we need at least two tables for now, which will be one table is more of like the container. Like, okay, it's more of like how we have request, and inside of it we have RITM. So it will be like that. So container table, inside of it orders.
Mhm.
And let's build that app.
You're not using App Engine Studio.
I'm using Studio for now. But
Good question, Drew.
it was hard, like, but it's like I just will be doing major things on the flow side. Or like, let's use it. Market, value trading. Yep, so that's there. It's a scoped app. Let me just go to create this thing up. I can create a new role for now, like stock admin. Stock admin. It's classic.
It's like a nostalgia feeling going back on Studio.
Yeah.
You must be using AES a lot now if this is starting to feel
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
I know you can get that. I was like, yeah, let's use it. So, for the first table, which is a container, I'm thinking like it's more of like an extension from task. Reason being, I need some journal field, work note, or something like those field I can reuse for this, so I can continue that. And it will be, we don't need number or anything, just need a name, or we can rename the short description for it. And like there will be a drop down that I need, which can be more of uh, like order type. Like, is it a strategy? So basically, like this app can be used for two things. One can be manual orders, like you can just create manually, or you can have the strategy based order. So, like order, I can say order type, and this can be a choice field, drop down with none, and
So you're
I
gonna just out of curiosity, you're gonna store the current prices of stock or something like that in.
no, no, because that's more of like, because we get all these things. Like generally there are two types. One is the
Mhm.
market, one is the limit order. So you have to specify the price. So we are sending the orders in the market, like on the market price, generally whatever the price that's going on currently, just book that. So if you want to limit it, that may be another enhancement we can do. So for now we are just keeping to normal simple thing. Order type is a choice field. What else I need? So it can be custom strategy orders, and we can create it later. So I think that's fine. And I can, let's go. I don't see the next button. Is it something? Do I need
Add
to
new
add?
field. Click on add new field.
I have added it. I don't need more fields. So that's new.
Scroll down. That's not new. It's old. So you might be feeling old.
No, yeah, means yeah. I had to zoom out to see that. Continue. Okay. So what's the, let's go. So we can put the order container. I'm bad at naming. So on that, so we don't need auto numbering on it. So let's take it. This is one, and continue. And I need one more table which will have the actual orders. So
Okay.
this will be like something you saw right in the back. We need to pass certain fields based on the document, all these
Hmm.
things, variety, and also we're going to create all these fields in it. So let's add new fields. So I can probably do something variety. For now I'm going to keep it as string. We'll change it based on need. But
Yeah. If you were in App Engine Studio, you could have pasted this into a spreadsheet and then
Exactly.
imported it.
Hashtag build with AES.
build with AES next time. So let's see string.
He's going to be
Uh,
shamed into AES by the end of this show.
No, AES is super fun, man. I really like that.
Yeah, I didn't do AES, but I was like, this is a basic small. Let's try
Even
this.
more reason.
Yeah.
Next time, next part of it, like another app. If I build, I'll use the AES. And just, it's like I don't know. I'm just not putting the first character like capital or something. But yeah, we can more of like this is
So basically,
right.
this app is gonna have a flow that is gonna run some sort of your algorithm, and then it's gonna place these orders based on
Correct.
these container
So
thing.
basically I want to keep it as simple as possible so that people don't have to build a lot of like they're all algo. So we're gonna create new fields that may be in the second part in which we'll be having more fields and put strategies. Right now the scope of for today will be more of like making sure the authentication flow is running, and
Mhm.
there is an order that can be placed from ServiceNow. So that's the idea.
Okay.
And string. Phew. Finally we are done.
Uh,
So we don't,
you don't need a field to connect that, like a reference field to your previous table.
yeah, we gonna create that
Okay.
that later. Yeah. For
How
now,
many times have you forgotten that, Drew? I do that every time. It's like, I got a table. I've got another table. I forgot the reference field.
That's the thing. That's why AES like you have your all table sorted. See, okay, I
oh,
need this, I need that.
no, that was a good thing. I actually forgot about it.
It was like the discussion this morning on Slack. It's like, I forgot the stupid query call. You did a glide record query and you forget the query. Why doesn't
You know,
Next tell me anything?
I forget to put on the dot query function in the morning, and I was
Right.
doing directly that on production, and it was all down.
I think everyone has forgotten the dot query and
Yep.
looked at their script for an hour before.
Yes. And you feel stupid when you recognize it again. Like,
Yeah.
I just side by
14.
side ran that authentication. Hopefully it works. I'm gonna create a new field, like which I forgot about the order thing. Like let's make it a reference.
Wow, we got to teach this guy form designer or form builder. I haven't created a field through the dictionary in probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yesterday, I'll
So,
tell you a story. Like yesterday, one of my counselors came in with us. He was going for CSA exam and he was doing some stuff on the form designer and all. And he asked me, and it was a shame that I have to go back on the docs to search what the hell is that.
yeah, order private. So I have the order. So yeah, I forgot about like order private something that. Let's do it, and it will
You
be.
got to make your font bigger again. You lost me on this one.
Let's do that. It's like not taking the validation.
Now Natasha's giving you crap.
No,
Getting a
I
lot of
You
should
shit.
have
deserve
used.
that. You deserve that.
This is hardcore.
This is great. This is what we always wanted live coding happy hour to be. People just trash talking us during the stream.
This is how we learn.
Oh my, oh my! Like let's do it. So container, made a container one. Order container. Phew. So let's submit it now. So we have that field created. So I hope our backend architecture is somewhat there. And let's go to the backend and see. I hope my screen is zoomed out. Are you able to see it?
Go one
Yeah.
more bigger.
One more. Is it better?
Yeah, we'll see. If your field labels start appearing above your fields, then we can back it down.
All right. So, okay, Algo. So we have the order container, and now we have this thing. So we have to do some form layout. We have to do some dictionary override. So we have the name, and let's do that quickly. I'll also run
Yes.
that this thing side by side if something works. Hopefully.
We're in an admin class.
You can use that in an interview question. What are the 5 ways to create a field?
I'm gonna sit out of that interview, no? If someone asks me in that interview, like Tata, bye bye.
Are you including script?
Alrighty, so we need the short description that's there, and I'm just gonna do some like basically short description will have the name, and I need to put some do we need activity? We put activity filter so that we have the activity what's happening, and this there will be more fields to it, and also we created our custom field that is like we created like strategy one, right? That was a choice one. It was a field name. I forgot the field. It was it was something container. We created that. Go back. I forgot the name. Anyway, that was like the for the strategy whether we have a yeah, it's order type. Cool. So yeah, let's save it. So I hope we have the okay. So that's there now. We have to just add the related list so that we have the order thing that's ready, and then we're gonna start building the flow for this thing related list. So we have the order one. Container parent.
Seeing this, I'm feeling like I have to go back and do my admin course.
Was this in the Delta?
No, I don't want to fail Delta again. So
I've been hearing some pretty serious comments about that Delta. Like
All
7
right.
questions and you have to get 7 right?
Okay, so I think this is the like. Let's go into the stock app. We have now we have the like one is the container that's there and one is the order. So this is the order basically. Like I have the product. Let me do a design again on this.
One thing that you forgot is the auto numbering. You can set
No,
up
we
that as
don't
well.
need auto numbering because like this is like these are just order and they once they are executed, so we don't need that numbering. So that's why I deliberately didn't do that. Oh, yeah, I created that field. How come it's not visible? Order container. Hmm.
No- Nothing works. Just refresh that.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
Fields are there, like the ones you created. I can see on the form.
Yeah, but the parent reference one is not there. That's
It,
strange.
it was not created, man. It was giving you an error.
No, we created it.
No,
This anyway. I think okay, maybe I created the wrong one.
another way of creating a field.
Yeah,
We're going to hit them all. This
this
is
might be refresher.
educational.
This might be refresher for people. All right, so I think that's one, and I can say order container.
So why did you put a U underscore on a custom field?
So this is like how custom fields are there, and it automatically generates whenever we are creating custom. So it's u underscore.
But it's your own scope, so you can't conflict with anything.
Yeah, it's like because when we put this like this, a service now auto generated, so we generally change it, but we can put it without u underscore. But generally, what I felt, Chuck, like maybe this that can be a practice because sometimes I know when you are in the dictionary, it will be concatenating the scope, but I generally do that. So, what do you think? Is it something? What is the
My recommendation is pick one and be consistent.
yeah?
Exactly.
Because that's how I've been doing it for a long time. Always start with u underscore. I know it concatenates with the scope, but it's like been doing it for a long time. So cool. Now we have it. That's perfect. So now we have to have a flow that will be running on this, which will be having all the details, right? So firstly, I'm going to create something like we can put the data. So let's start with the flow for it. We have some data structure ready, and let's go to the flow. And I can do one more round of it. Hopefully, it works.
The biggest mistake, you haven't created your update set. Just-
Oh boy.
I'm
It's
just
a
getting
scope
picky.
tap, Dhruv.
Use an app.
Back off.
Oh, so it's still internal error, I think. Let's see. Hopefully. So we'll be building some action. So what I'm thinking is like there will be one action which will be doing the authentication, and after the authentication, it will be basically doing like the order placement. And I believe like for every order, we need to do the authentication, and like we get a token, and maybe the expiry for the token is like less 1 minute or 2 minutes, something like that, because of these are like stock apps. So we have to use the refresh token to regenerate it. So let's see first how we can do it. Let's do a new action. So I generally do in this way, like whenever I'm building a scoped app, so I always have a prefix like for this essay, like when I'm creating any flow or anything, so that we can differentiate what it is. Generally, when we are searching in a list, so we tend to don't know like from which whether it's part of which app and all. We can always look into the application field, but generally it's not on the form, so in the list. So that's
Category,
one.
man. Category.
Yep, I can do categorization, but like I generally prefer naming it also in some way. Okay, and action will be place order.
I always put emoji in mine so it shows up at the top of the list each time.
Okay, Gabby.
It's true.
Let's do it. All right. So first thing first, we need to do a rest step. So need the connection. We have to define inline, and I need to create that same thing. Like if you remember client ID and client that, so I'm gonna create that, and let's see.
Over to the credentials.
We should get there.
My
So
fingers are again on print screen.
I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna share. So this can be the base URL that's there, and I
Are
need
you
to
going?
create.
Are you authenticating as part of this action?
Yes, I'm gonna authenticate it, and
Point says as is like login as password or something like that.
yep. So it's like the credential will be stored.
Why not create? Why not create a separate? Well, because
Separate
there's an
action, yeah.
architectural design decision. You could
Mhm.
make a separate action to authenticate,
Exactly.
but then you would have to have the user remember when they're building a flow to authenticate before they can do another action.
Yep, that's the thing, because if I keep it like two separate action, then it's like tough to manage, right? So I'm putting everything in one so that if any user is trying to use it, so they don't have to go into multiple place and edit it, and the access token time duration will be very less, because if
Right.
this is like a stock app, so it can be 60 seconds or something like that. So
Could you
we need
use a credential alias?
potential areas. I'm not sure on that, but we can try that.
You'd have to define one, and then
Yeah.
you said it was a
Mm-hmm.
that's often better than doing inline, because inline gets to be very repetitive.
Yeah.
Yep. I because for this, if we see the API key one,
Mhm.
so I don't think we can do that, because these are like basic grids.
Because
If we
you have two parts.
Yep. So this is like a basic grid thing, like, because anyway we are passing a username
Fine.
and password, and we are getting a JWT token, something like so.
That could
One
work. I mean, you can do basic auth in the credential alias.
Mhm. Let's see if basic auth that's there, and we need to define this also.
Right.
Let's see, and
Because this also segregates your actual credentials from the application. So you could have separate credentials in dev and test and prod. And if you were to give this away and put it on share, someone just plugs in their own credentials and connects them to your alias, and you're good to go.
And the best part is, like, if you want to update, you just have to update at one place instead of going in every action and updating that piece.
that's fair. So let's try that. So sorry, let me save this thing up.
And then you have to define the connection as well.
Yep.
Down there on the bottom. We are window in a modal in a window.
Tough part.
Normally I do all this up front in the platform UI, but this is interesting to watch too.
Yeah.
So let's see, let's give it a connection.
I'm a big fan of this retry policy. It has saved me a lot of time, man.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, if I'm like here, that will go off.
It's back there somewhere.
I have to go the whole flow again. No, it should
No, they're
be
back there.
So connection will be this, and URL will be there, and let's submit, save it, see.
Your connection still needs to point to the credential, though.
So it should be automatic.
Yeah, you may have to refresh though to get that list.
Save. Please press save.
We didn't really build anything yet, but okay.
Yeah, this was like first step, but yeah, good call out. Let's see. Let's refresh it.
Dun, 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 dun. It's a suspense. And no, you still have it as defined connection inline.
Yeah.
Change the connection up on top.
Up,
First
one
field.
field up.
Use alias.
Yeah.
There.
And this is the one. And I need
There's
to.
Your base URL generally doesn't include like the login by password part, but
Mhm.
we'll go with that anyway.
Yes,
That should
so
work.
it's there, and so we have to build the request.
Okay. This is a post, so we'll start there. We don't need a resource path because it's included in that base URL.
Yeah, and so now like we have to manually copy it
Right.
on this thing. So
Except for the credentials. Well, you need the key, but the credentials will come from the credential alias.
yes, let me just put it like this. So I have like I think like this should be like a bulk edit thing. This should be what it is.
You got that on the ideal portal yet?
I'm gonna put it now. After I have seen it, Lord, I have to do it one by one, one by one. But
You
generally,
should
like
learn.
for other things, it's easy when there are one or two. But something like this, so let me just add user type. We have the source ID.
Maybe it should be like variable sets where we can just have header sets.
Oh yeah, that can be good.
And everybody will make header sets of one header. It doesn't be any good anyway.
Or just
Look, if you change one, it's changed all over the place.
or the way I would have made it is if there's a container end inside of the in your clipboard, then it just tabs over to the next one.
I don't think on this we need something like a real Mac ID. This might be.
Yeah, I'm wondering about those as well. They look like they're right
Yeah,
out
you
of the
need to-
docs.
Yep, I know these are like default string thing that's there, but let's see whether we really need it. User type is equal to web. Source is web, and user type is user. Client local IP is
127.0.0.1.
Yeah. What's your address? What's your local address?
it's all right. So I think I have added it. Few. This was not, and I need to pass in the body. I have to pass like
My fingers are again on that.
yeah, same. This is like I have to pass like so the credential will be coming from this connection area, so I have to add that there. Connection set. So I have to create one. I'm gonna quickly create this thing. And all they might
No,
man.
here comes our faces.
Oops, not yet. There.
thanks Earl.
Chuck, we need to make a whoopsie overlay banner.
Don't tempt me. We have a technical difficulties overlay.
Just a minute. I think I am done. Okay, cool. I'm done. So
All right, so you got your credential. Do you have your credential connected to your connection? So go back to
Yep.
connections. So, okay, that's because
Yeah, I
there's a
did that.
reference field on the bottom, or excuse me, in the connection. that wasn't
Yep.
filled in before.
Yes. So if you see right in the connection, that was not filled. So I
There
went
it is.
ahead
Yep.
and
Yep.
connection. I
Good job.
added that.
Yep.
So that's one. Now we have this thing ready, and let's save it. Please correct the following. So header duplicate names are not allowed. Phew. Duplicate.
Ola
Client public
says,
IP.
Steve, you
Client
don't want to
public
enter
IP.
those header keys again.
It
Please
seems
don't tell
like
me.
client public IP, I guess. Oh
Client
no, it's
public IP
public.
is there. Local
Local
IP.
IP is twice.
Oh,
Yes.
you
Oh
do
yeah.
have duplicate
Good,
headers.
good catch. Right. So this is there.
I never known. I never know that this is the functionality, and this is a kind of a testing. This option is also available in REST step, that if you put on multiple headers with the same name.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
told
new.
that's going to be addressed in a smarter way in the future. Because there are times when you do need multiple headers with the
Yeah.
same key.
I'm just so I think the first step is there. Now, as we don't have that, like what kind of response we are getting, I know we have a dummy response in the doc. Is
Did
this
you
is the
change that from
dummy?
get to post, Pranav?
Yes, I changed that
Okay,
post.
good. I
And
missed that so many times.
yeah, and I generally learned in the hard way. I always put it get, then I test it, it fails, then oh I missed it. So
Right.
so generally after this, basically I know we'll getting this kind of a response. So there is a JSON parser that's there. So I need to parse the data. So it generally I can put it like dummy thing,
Mhm.
and it can generate our targets. So that's very easy. And from there we can just use the JWT and to the next step. And now we need another REST message to actually we use like uh, to create another like the order, like to place
Mhm.
the order. Let's see, we have a post, so we have a place order. This is the same URL, so we're gonna follow the same step that this like how we have. And
Well, in this one, your JWT token is going to be dynamic, is it not?
it will be dynamic, so
So
it
you
will be
may want to
coming.
do this one in line because you're getting it from the data panel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good
Or
call.
let me think about that.
No, you need inline.
Yeah, you can't authenticate with a connection alias if you just got the token,
Exactly.
Mm. That's there, yeah.
unless it's
True.
part of the URL.
Hmm.
Uh,
No, this is a post method, so it won't be
Okay,
part of the URL
and
because
part of the
it
body.
won't be safe
Yep.
also.
Yep, you're going to have to do this one in line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just do this. This will be the base and the request path. We have to do post.
Whew,
And
I'm glad Dhruv is here to keep me sober.
so now we have to see what are like the parameters.
Take care, Steve.
So we have like authorization that we have to pass here.
Right.
And let me quickly do this authorization.
So,
Don't
Then
forget
same.
the other thing that I always forget is the bearer keyword.
oh
Oh
man.
yeah. Oh yes.
Why isn't it just authorization dash bearer or something simple? So don't put static words in my values.
And I think like after doing this, I realized like we should have some kind of a variable set, like as Chuck you were mentioning, right? Like which will be easy. You can have the same parameter. I can see like it's all same, but don't have it. Let's see, client IP, and we have this, and action, and then we have the private key.
Now, another architectural decision that we kind of forged ahead without discussing is you may have wanted to consider writing this action in its own scope so that it can be its own spoke, not directly attached to your application.
Yes. Yeah.
I
True.
always forget that. It's like I'm blazing through an application. It's like, I need to talk to someone. Oh, I should make its own spoke so it's abstracted away and could be reused.
Oh, yes. Yeah. This is I also forget. Like I forgot actually to create it in spoke.
Yeah.
But what so generally it's a best practice I think to create in a spoke, but we generally tend to forget that. It's
You
That separates
remember
you
after
from a
about the
developer.
third. You remember after the third action. Oh man.
true. So I think we are almost set with. So right now, like I'm just putting this thing. I hope we don't need the MAC address uh, because this shouldn't be a mandatory thing if we are having
I
the
don't know
API.
where
And
you would get it. What would they do with that? I've never seen
They
anybody.
might use for audit and log purpose that from which computer the
maybe,
orders have been placed and all of those things.
maybe, so maybe. I think I have the API key that's there. I'm anyway gonna refresh it. I remember like when Chuck I was seeing Slack integration years back. Josh was doing it. He was showing all the password. He was saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna
Mhm.
reset everything."
No.
That was
And you should get this private key from somewhere. You should not be hard
yeah.
coding this.
Private. This will be stored. We're gonna store it inputs, and
That you should have from the data panel.
Yeah.
we can
And
do
just one
that.
thing, like Chuck, I'm not sure. You can guide me. Like when you type in the resource part, do you need a forward slash or is it the automatically picks up?
We
Uh,
need
we had a discussion on this at one point. I haven't had any problems with it. So that's it. Double slashes in URLs are not a
Yeah.
problem generally.
Yeah, that's
So
what like
if it adds one by default and you've got one there explicitly, oh well. But if you forget it and it's not added automatically, then you get problems.
you get problems when you are code bringing that URL from some script or something. Then it will act as a escape character for.
Not forward slashes, backslashes will be escaped.
Oh yeah.
this. So I think we have set it. Now I know I'm putting it like this for now, but this will be actually replaced from the table, like the fields that we have created, right? So all these quantity, everything that's there. We need to see. Did I put it proper? Data is there. Yeah, we can have all these things put up. Or maybe I can use.
Now that
Bring
you're
it from
working,
table, no?
now that you're working on the body of the request, I think that might be what you were missing in your original login um, REST endpoint. Because looking at the API documentation, your original request was looking for a body too, and I don't think you ever added that.
I added the body.
Oh, okay.
You remember, like I asked you, like I stop sharing. That was the
Oh,
credential.
okay, yeah, cool. Did you want to find a good stopping point? We're getting close to the hour.
Yeah, we can just stop it. Like we can try once again for the authentication.
That's a
If
good
it
way to end
works.
it. The test. And
Win
everyone
or
made
lose, we're going over the waterfall.
Yeah. Share it on Git, man. We can fork that and build it for.
Yeah, like
That's a
I'm
good
gonna
idea.
probably we can have another part to it. Like we can have till the time hopefully the API is working. We can do it a bit early.
Yeah, multi-series.
Yeah.
We haven't done that in a while.
Yep. I think it's gonna take time, but I think the flow will be like this. REST step, it will get the JWT token. We're gonna pass it. We're gonna use it in the next REST step, and then we're gonna pass this thing and update our backend order.
Yeah.
That's there.
Did you put a data pill in there for the token?
It's not
Token.
pushed yet.
It's we haven't. I haven't put it right now, but
Oh, okay.
so this is something like you see, right? We have the JSON parser that's
Right,
there.
right.
So from the JSON parser itself, we can get the date token because I use this thing, and we can directly use that in our like here. We can put it
Right.
just
But it's
so
grayed out.
it's there. It's data JWT token. Look,
That's what you're looking for.
Yep, and I just need to add a space. If I don't
Make
add
sure there's a space.
Make sure space.
it,
That's why I hate that bearer keyword. It's like, so many things can go wrong. It's so simple, but yet so finicky.
yep.
Recently,
So
we
I
were
think that's the action is saved. So I think we can continue this further. So again, here I'm gonna have to add just another JSON parser so that once we get a response from this, we parse it and update the order in the back.
Those things are so nice.
So that's there, and I think I can stop here and let me stop sharing. Maybe we can continue this thing in the next part. So let me.
All right. Thank you, Pranav. Let's go around and rate our drinks as interesting as they were this time. You're muted, Earl.
he's tasting his own
Yeah,
champagne now.
Just kidding. I'm not muted anymore. Water, high quality H2O, 5 out of 5, always.
Always. All right,
Mine
Drew, you
is
switch
5.
seats. Oh no, you're in the same place. How's your Coke?
5 on 5, man. I'm almost done with 2.
2 cans. He's double pumping this one. And Pranav?
5 out of 5. Perfect drink for me.
Wow, I feel kind of lame. I mean, the Big Wave Golden Ale from the Kona Brewing Company went down easy.
Nice.
But I wouldn't call it a 5. I'd call it a good summertime go down easy beer. I'm going to give it a 4 1/4.
Oh, nice.
4 1/4. That's a good number.
I think like somebody asked certain question like in the chat, like can I use the get method and populate my custom table and use the data for PA? So this is the question. Chuck or anyone want to take, or I should take it?
Can you use a get method and populate your table to what? I didn't understand what the full
To a
question was.
populate my custom table and use the data for performance analytics.
Theoretically, yes. Performance analytics can index. If you wanted to find out how your stock is trending over time, then yeah, performance analytics will do your time series just fine.
Ideally, as an architecture point of view, you need to store one table that stores the logs and the history of everything, and then build your reports on that.
There we
And
go.
I think in these days in report also you can get the data ad hoc, right? You don't have to save it in a particular table and you can use it directly. That's something I saw it in the reports and all. That's
For
there.
trends and all, you need to have historical data, right? How are you gonna build
Yeah.
trends?
So for the historical data, like you can get the data for 60 days for the API, and then you can see the trend, something
Yeah.
like that, in one point. But you don't have to store it in ServiceNow.
Every transaction costs money.
Every transaction costs money. The other, you could also possibly do it as a remote table.
Yeah,
You wouldn't have to store it live. There's that to consider as well.
Remote tables.
All
Yep.
right. Good stuff. Announcements. We have Tech Now coming up on August 4th, 8 a.m. Pacific time, the usual time for our Tech Now webinars. Thursday. This is a Thursday, so we're not doing this on a Tuesday. Thursday, August 4th is Tokyo Early Access Day. So sometime during that day, maybe before, maybe after the Tech Now, you'll be able to upgrade your PDIs to Tokyo as well. We will be having another live coding happy hour the very next day based on something from the Tokyo Tech Now. I got to try and say those words together for a while. And the whole content of Tokyo is available on devlink.sn/Tokyo. We've got it by topic or category, and we've got it by calendar. So you decide how you want to slice and dice that information. And as we produce these podcasts and blogs and live streams, we'll be updating those with links. So if you miss something and you want to come back later and go, there was a video on that one thing that Chuck talked about. You can go back and find that. Similar to what we did with San Diego, just next generation of that. What was that, Drew?
What's the Tech Now link?
Tech Now, devlink.sn/Tech Now. We try to keep this simple so I don't have to remember a whole lot. There is a link specific to that episode's registration page, that episode's blog, that episode's PDF when it becomes available. But all of those can be found if you go to /TechNow, click the top one, which is the latest one, episode 94. You'll get everything there. So looking forward to seeing everybody there. Any other announcements we're missing, Earl?
The only one that we always forget to do and we're trying to be better about is if you're watching this, please like, subscribe. It helps with our numbers and our reporting. We don't make money off of any of these videos or anything like that, but just to know that we're actually getting good content out there, it helps us if you do those things.
Thank you for remembering. Yes, it is important to us to show that people are watching and caring and loving and keeping us employed.
I like being employed.
So, we ran a few minutes over, but that's live coding happy hour. Sometimes that happens. Thank you, Pranav, for guiding us through that. Thank you, Drew, for the insights, the colorful commentary, saving us from ourselves. And thank you, Earl, for running all the comments and protecting the screen, all the layout and operational details. Until next time, which will probably be August 5th. We don't know. We may or may not have something on July 29th. Still working through the plans on that. We got an idea that's kind of cooking in the background, but hasn't been confirmed. We'll know more if we do. That's why you want to subscribe, turn on those notifications so that you know that we've got something going. Till then, everybody take care. Stay safe.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.